Will the boss, Sasha Banks, turn up on AEW? Probably not, because she doesn't look like Kenny Omega, therefore Tony Khan isn't attracted to her. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We're here to talk about Sasha Banks and where she could potentially end up in the future. Now, Dave Meltzer was talking about the situation, and with Dave Meltzer, I mean, normally it's a bunch of mumble-jumble, and you've got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. However, he did make a half-decent point, so I thought it was worth mentioning Dave Meltzer, and of course I will quote what he said. But in my opinion, look, I know a lot of people do not like Sasha Banks. I know a lot of people call her Sasha Botch, me included. I even botched her name there because she's so botchy that it's contagious. Every time I try and say Sasha Botch, I end up fucking it up. But anyway, look, the point being is, I actually like Sasha Banks. Now, whether it be because I'm attracted to her and I think she has the best body in wrestling for a female, I don't know. That could be the reason. But I do actually think, if I look beyond her looks, I do actually think she's pretty talented. I think she's good in the ring. I don't think she's great, but I do think she's good in the ring. If you take away the botches, she's a pretty good wrestler, especially for a girl. Plus, she's got character. I do think she's decent on the mic. I think she's good. I think all round she is good. I think she's confident in herself. I would say if she goes back to WWE, I'd say she's in the top 5 women in WWE. I think you'd struggle to name 5 better. If she goes to AEW, she will be number 1 without doubt, because everyone in AEW sucks. But yeah, for me, Sasha Banks is good, and even though I make fun of her sometimes, even though, you know, I call her a botch and this and that, I do actually believe that she is good for any wrestling promotion. At least from a wrestling standpoint, you know, and a character standpoint. I'm not saying I like her as a person or anything like that. I'm not saying she might not be problematic backstage, because she certainly is. She's certainly got an ego. She certainly thinks highly of herself. So maybe she's not the best person to have in a locker room. But I think purely as a talent, I don't think there's that many women that are better than Sasha Banks, especially outside of WWE. I think you would struggle to name any. But anyway, Dave Meltzer had the following to say about Sasha Banks, because it was rumoured she was going to turn up on AEW, but it didn't happen. Paige, Saraya, call her what you want. She was on AEW talking about a mystery partner for a tag team match against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. She said she was going to announce the partner on January the 4th, which was the last AEW show. And then there was some back and forth. This was a couple of weeks ago. There was some back and forth between Paige and Britt Baker. And Britt Baker referred to herself as being the boss of AEW. So, you know what? Maybe that was a pun. Maybe that was intended. Maybe it wasn't. But some people gathered that this could mean that Sasha Banks was going to be the mystery partner. Plus, Sasha Banks' non-compete contract with WWE was up heading into 2023. So that would have made her eligible to not only join AEW, but wrestle for AEW. But anyway, on the whole situation, Meltzer had the following to say, and I quote, "I was told a bunch of stuff, and it was very clear on the show tonight, she is not in Los Angeles. She is not coming to AEW. I don't think she wants to make that commitment, because if she goes to AEW, it's a long-term commitment. Anything's possible. I also know from WWE that they are very strongly under the impression that she will not wrestle for AEW. They think she's coming back at some point. She'll get this out of her system. She'll do her New Japan matches, because you know she's only contracted for a couple of matches and then come back. But if she's going to AEW, she's got to sign for 3 years minimum. Because why even bother if she's going to go right back? For AEW, it would be really stupid to put her on TV if she's going to go back in 6 months." End of quote. So Meltzer basically pointing out the obvious, that she wasn't on AEW. We know she wasn't in AEW. Paige's partner was Tony Storm, so we get that. But then he went on to talk about how if she does join AEW, if she does sign for AEW, that Tony Khan likes to sign these people down to long-term contracts. So it's going to be a 3 years deal minimum. And if she does sign 3 years, that would rule out a potential WWE return for up to, obviously, 36 months, 3 years, which is a hell of a long time. And as we know, Sasha Banks just got out of her WWE contract. So I think he makes a good point there, and I think it does make sense that she will want to think carefully about her next move. Now, it's okay signing up for like New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then you can do these shows in their parent company, sister company, Stardom or whatever. You can have the odd match here, the odd match there. It's more like a rolling contract where you just have to commit a couple of dates and fulfill them. Okay, that's completely different than signing, let's say, an AEW contract where you are an AEW talent for 3 years. And well, don't get me wrong, AEW, I would imagine, would let Sasha Banks work New Japan and other companies like that. Of course, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA. I'm sure Tony Khan would, he's a mark, he will do it. There's people in AEW that get to go and wrestle in these other companies. For sure, I totally get that. But if she goes to AEW, that would rule out any potential return to WWE in the next 3 years. And if we're being honest, guys, WWE is the place to be. People can pretend AEW is like the number one company or the better company. Fact is, barely anybody knows AEW. Outside of wrestling fans, nobody cares about AEW. You mention the 3 letters, WWE, everybody knows. WWE is worldwide. It's a household name. AEW isn't. If you want to be the number one person in wrestling, if you want to be the star in wrestling, if you want to be the man, as Ric Flair would say, or the woman, whoa, if you want to be that person, you have to be in WWE. You have to be. Roman Reigns is the man because, at the moment anyway, he's the household name, he's the man, he's the draw because he's in WWE. Well, he's been the champ in WWE for over 2 years. What's happening in AEW at the moment is fucking irrelevant. You could hold the AEW World Championship for 10 years and it doesn't matter because it's AEW. Anyone who thinks like Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, MJF, you seriously think they're bigger stars than Roman Reigns? Of course not. And it's because they're in AEW. It's not because Roman Reigns is this great guy, or because Roman Reigns is this like mega talent, or this hugely entertaining star that everybody needs to see. It's because Roman Reigns is in the WWE, and that's why he's at the top, because he's in the top company. You cannot be in AEW and be the top guy. Unless, like, you're the fucking Rock and you just turn up because why not, but unless you're the Rock, that's like a one-person privilege. Unless you're the Rock, you ain't going to be the man. You can go to AEW, you can make a good wage, you can be their champ, but at the end of the day, if you want to be the best, you can't be the best in AEW. You have to be the best in WWE, because WWE is number one. And it's not even like back in the day where you had WWE and WCW, they were like first and second, and it was close. WWE and AEW might be first and second, but the gap is fucking huge. The gap is gigantic, so it doesn't really matter. Like I said, you can be the best person in AEW. It doesn't matter. It's better off for your career being like the 10th best person in WWE. And I think that means a lot to Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks likes being a household name. I think Sasha Banks likes being well known. I think Sasha Banks likes having the popularity that she has. And her popularity, it's not going to grow on AEW. If anything, it's going to decline. I'm not saying she's going to lose like Twitter followers or anything like that, but if she goes to AEW, she will just become less popular. She will become less well known. She will lose her appeal. Look at Chris Jericho. You cannot say that Chris Jericho is more relevant in AEW than he was in WWE. He's just clearly not. Has he come up with some new characters and gimmicks? Yes. Has he got some new catchphrases? Yes. But Chris Jericho is not at the peak of his popularity now that he's with AEW, because it's AE fucking W. Chris Jericho could come back to WWE and work 6 months and his stock would go up. It's as simple as that. WWE's the number one company, and for that reason, I actually don't think Sasha Banks will go to AEW. If it was like a one-off appearance, if she could just join and have some matches, then maybe. But 3 years is a hell of a lot of time. Plus, Sasha Banks is 30 years old. Sasha Banks, I think she's 30, she might be 31. Either way, she's either 30 or 31. And the fact is, at 30, she is like right towards the end of her prime. I don't want people saying, oh, no, well, you're in wrestling. No, like, if you're a woman, your prime is when you look your best. It's as simple as that. And her prime is coming to an end. I'm not saying she's past her prime, but she's had more years in her prime than she's got in front of her. There's more years of her prime behind her than there is in front of her. It's as simple as that. And I always go back to Trish and Lita, the two biggest stars that women have ever produced in wrestling. They both retired because they were 31. Maybe for different reasons. Trish might have wanted to go and start a family. Lita might have been, done with wrestling, wanted to go and do stuff with her band. But at the end of the day, when they came back, they were never as popular as they were when they left, because they came back and they were older. It's as simple as that. Trish Stratus can come back and have a match with Charlotte. We can all be happy to see Trish back. We can all be like, yeah, it's great to see Trish Stratus back, but we are not as excited to see Trish Stratus in 2022 or 2023 as we were when she was like in WWE in 2002, and we were getting Stratusfaction, and we were getting, a young Trish Stratus with our boobs hanging out. Now she's older, she's more like conservative, she's dressing up more, and she's just not as appealing to most men. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So Sasha Banks, she's 30 now, I guarantee you, and when she's 33 or 34, she will not have the same she will not be at the same sort of level as she is now. She will not have the same appeal. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, guys. So Sasha Banks, if she wants to fucking make money, if she wants to, do stuff and take advantage of her prime years, then she has to do it now. Like I said, as a guy, I mean, it doesn't really matter as much as a guy. I'd say in wrestling, your prime is probably, you can mature more. I would say your prime is probably like your mid to late 30s. I mean, you look at most guys, most of them don't really, I'd say, mature into the best of their ability till like they're close to 30. But for women, it's just different, man. I don't make the rules. That's just how life is. So I think Sasha Banks at the moment, I think she should come back to WWE. She can have a few matches in Japan. That's fair enough. Knock yourself out. But WWE is where it's at. WWE is where stars are made, not AEW. Look, I loved TNA back in the day. TNA, in my opinion, did a much better job of creating stars than AEW did. It had more eyes on the product than AEW did. But even then, Kurt Angle, he had a great TNA career. I'm not denying that. But when he went to TNA, he just wasn't, he wasn't at the height of his popularity as compared to when he was in WWE. And you can say that about everybody in TNA. And I think a lot of guys had good careers in TNA. I enjoyed Booker T in TNA. I enjoyed Scott Steiner. Loved Scott Steiner in TNA. I enjoyed Nash. I enjoyed Sting. But none of those guys had, the best years. Now, you can argue wrestling-wise, Kurt Angle maybe actually had better, consistent matches. He might have had a better, record of matches in TNA than he did in WWE. You could argue that. But in terms of their star power, in terms of their popularity, it didn't increase by going to TNA, because TNA wasn't WWE and it was a step backwards. And it's the same with AEW. So I don't want to rant on, guys. I'm not going to drag this out anymore. My point is, if Sasha Banks wants to be a star, she should be in the place that makes stars. This place where stars are born. The best company, the company that's been around the longest, the #1 company in wrestling, and that is the WWE. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I will catch you in the next video. If you want to see Sasha Banks return to WWE, let me know why. If you don't want to see Sasha Banks return to WWE, also let me know why. I will catch you guys in the next video. But until then, I've been Son of Scotland 90. This is Fog Wrestling. I'll see you later. Peace.